The situation with the saigas has become critical. The government of Kazakhstan has decided extermination 800,000 saigas. The decision was made after farmers began to report more and more frequently that their crops were being suffered damage. But there are no full-scale studies on the question, who is really oppressing whom? This is a question of the clash of interest between wildlife and agriculture. Human-wildlife conflict represents one of the most pressing challenges at the intersection of conservation and human development today. From 2002 until early 2023, the IUCN Red List listed saigas as critically endangered, but with concerted conservation efforts, the species status improved. And with the Red List update in April 2023, this improvement was reflected by assigning the category near threatened. In 2000, the saiga population was 17,000, and rapid growth began in 2020. Today, the Ministry of Ecology and Wildlife of the Kazakhstan Republic reports an increase in the saiga population to 4.1 million at the current time. It is noted that such a large-scale saiga population has not been recorded since the observations began. However, there are opinions that the calculations may be incorrect. So, in 2023, the number of saiga was 1.9 million. That is, the population has increased by 2 times in 1.5 years. The graph shows that the saiga population is not stable from year to year. The growth over this year was from -65 to 78%. The scientific justification for the extermination of part of the saiga was presented by the Jangirkhan University, one of the main areas of which is agriculture and livestock products processing. But the university does not have a faculty of wildlife or natural resources. In addition to extermination, this university have already developed sausage recipes from saiga. The university's interest in the extermination of saigas is evident.
Западно-казахстанские ученые предлагают массовое изъятие сайгаков. Для регулирования численности уральской популяции, по их подсчетам, необходимо выловить 700 тысяч особей. Это примерно 20% от всего поголовья. Именно столько, по их мнению, могут переработать местные мясокомбинаты.
Therefore, there is a risk that their justification is one-sided, in favor of agriculture and processing, without taking into account the needs and interests of wildlife. They also defend the interests of farmers from the West Kazakhstan region in this way. A farmer can ask to them for help, but the saiga has no negotiators and no one to protect them. At the same time, scientists from the Jangirkhan University call the killing of the saiga ecosystem management for its own sustainability. The Research Institute of Zoology of the Kazakhstan also agree with need to exterminate the saiga. At the same time, the field of zoology is also not capable of considering this issue from all sides, namely taking into account social, economic, and environmental components. Therefore, we don't have a comprehensive justification for the extermination of the saiga. Today, the main type of land used in the Ural region, where the Ural saiga population lives, is pastures, which reflects the predominant employment of the region's population in livestock farming. Research has shown that this region contains large areas of former saiga habitat. An analysis of Soviet land use maps in the region indicated that at least 50% of the land has been plowed during the Virgin Land Cultivation Campaign during the Soviet Union times. Before the Virgin Lands, these lands were the natural habitat of saigas. The allocation of land for farming by private individuals of cooperatives began with the country's independence. The primary purpose of the lands granted to peasant farm is agriculture activity. In the study area, utilized mainly as pastures and hay fields. This research analyzed the dynamic of the development of lands leased by farmers in the region. There have been several to drive attempt the saiga out of what is now agricultural land. One approach involves the installation of electric fences around the perimeters of their fields. Its alternative measure saw the placement of scarecrows at the boundaries of pasture. Lastly, farmers resorted to actively driving the saigas away from their fields. Despite these measures are not effective at deterring saiga herds, the area of available land is constantly shrinking due to the leasing of land by private farmers. The farmers want to use all available lands only for their own benefit and do not want to share their resources with anyone, especially saigas. In this research, the local farmers acknowledged a conflict with the saiga, although without providing specific economic data. An interesting observation emerged from the survey findings. Nearly all respondents indicated a significant reduction in the frequency of fires. The last natural steppe fire occurred more than 3 years ago, a time concurrent with the rise in saiga population. The saigas are nomadic animals that does not have a significant impact on the depletion of vegetation, since they move all the time. Permission to shoot can become a stimulator of search in poaching, and the greatest interest in presented by males. The price of their horns on the market is several $1,000s. The scientists say without saigas presence, the vegetation cover will change, while wildfires become more frequent and soil erosion is more likely. For these reasons, exterminate saigas is unacceptable. And since there are no large population of ungulates in Kazakhstan, scientists propose dispersing saigas to other regions of Kazakhstan to reduce soil erosion. As an alternative method of preserving saigas may use to breed saigas in semi-free climate conditions. Since the saigas are widespread in a very limited number of countries, as an alternative to exterminate, it is also possible to propose relocation some of the saigas to other countries with a suitable climate and natural landscapes. Another option could be the development of ecotourism saigas safari. I will tell you more about the resettlement of saigas to another countries in the next video.